Hello, DSA 6th grade. This video is meant to help you with finding percentages of a number or finding what percent two numbers compared are. So I'm going to start up with one of the examples from the classwork today where we were asked what percent, what percent of 600 is 3? Now, remember that percents are always talking about relationship between a part of a whole. And the word percent means percent, or how many per 100. So we can always set up a percent as something over 100. Now our question asks what percent. So this is the information we don't know. So what I'm going to do is leave this blank and put a question mark here because we don't know. And I'm going to say that this fraction is equal to something with 3 and 600. Now, remember, we're working with parts and wholes. And we know that it's asking what percent of 600. So whenever you see the word of before a number or word, whenever you see the word, oops, let me undo that, change the color. Whenever we see the word of before a number, that's always going to be your whole. So 600 is going to be our whole, while 3 is a part of a bigger whole, right? And it's asking what part of 600 is 3. Now, we have two fractions here, and because percents are talking about proportions, we know that they are equivalent fractions. So using what we know about equivalent fractions, we know that the numerator and the denominator need to have you need to perform the same operation on both the numerator and denominator to find another equivalent fraction. So because we have both numbers on our right fraction, we want to be going this direction. And now we have two numbers that we know we need to get between. So 600 and 100. To get between 600 and 100, of course, we just need to divide by 6, which means we have to divide by 6 in the numerator as well. So our part of 100 is simply going to be 3 divided by 6, which I'm going to write as a fraction. So remember, 3 over 6 with the numerator as 3 and denominator 6 is the same thing as 3 divided by 6, which I'm then going to simplify. Same process with equivalent fractions. Divide by 3, because 3 goes both into 3 and 6, and divide by 6. And that will give, oh, sorry, not 6. It needs to be the same operation on the numerator and denominator, so divide by 3 on both to get 1/2. So we're asked what percent of 600 is 3? Our final answer would have been 1/2 over 100. Now, it's asking what percent. So whenever you want to turn something from a fraction like this into percent, you just have to remember that percent means how many per 100. So this is 1/2 per 100. So 1/2%. Or if you want to turn that into decimal, remember 1/2 is the same thing as 0.5%. I'm going to give you one more. So I'm going to actually do something that isn't on the homework and just give you an easier example to see so you can transfer this to the homework. So if you're asked something like 17 is 34% of what number? So to do a problem like this, we again just have to set up our fractions. So we know we have 34%, so we're immediately going to take that and turn it into a fraction. Percent means how many per 100. 100 is always going to the bottom, and 34 means 34 per 100. So this equal to another portion. We're talking again about a part of a whole. So we just have to figure out, is 17 our part or our whole? Well, remember what I just said about oops, of telling us what's the whole? So here it says of what number? We don't know what number this is talking about, so that means our whole is going to be what we don't know. And it's asking 17 is 34%, so it's some smaller portion of some bigger whole. So 17 is our part on top. And now all we have to do is look at our equivalent fractions and figure out the operation. 17 times 2 is equal to 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1, 2 times 1, 34. So we know that because 2 times 17 is 34, we can undo that by just dividing by 2. And that means we're also divide by 2 on the denominator as well. So 100 divided by 2 is pretty simple, and we can just figure that out easily. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So that is our answer. 17 is 34% of 50. So I hope this video helped. Let me know either in class or on the comments here if there's anything I could be doing to make this clear, make it better. I will be uploading the PDF of these slides I'm working on if you want to look through them visually. And I hope that this was a little bit helpful for figuring out percentages of a whole. Thanks.